Grace and peace be unto you. Once again, my name is Margaret Fulmore, and I would like to say thank you for joining me. Listen, today, right, I was just skipping over the Bible, reading some scriptures, and this thing stood out to me. You know, in life, God takes his people, right, scripture, from level to level and from glory to glory. And you never know when God want to bless you. You never know when it's your time. You see, we go through life and sometimes it gets hard. And sometimes we want to quit. Sometimes we want to give up. And we don't realize that God is looking at our resilience. We don't realize that God is looking at our patience. We don't realize that he's looking for someone to bless, right? He has this position that's about to become available, and we don't realize that God is looking for someone to fulfill the position of whatever. Let's look to the scriptures, right? We see in Esther chapter 1, right, the king had a 6-month feast, right? He had his wealth. He had a feast. He had this feast for the people of the kingdom, right? And the king, what the king did was, the king had all his wealth on display for 6 months. That's 190 days that the king had his stuff on display, right? So after the feast, the king turned around and had a banquet that was open to the public, and you could drink all the wine. There was no limit, and it was open to the public. And after the king had drunk for 7 days, the king decided he wanted to show off his wife because his wife was beautiful. And Vashti said, I ain't going no place. But it wasn't about Vashti and not wanting to go anywhere. It was about God. And God knew that there was a plot that was getting ready to come up against his chosen people. And we know God don't play about his people. So here, this law was getting ready to be passed where his chosen people were going to lose their lives. And so now God is looking for somebody to put in position. And all the people knew was Vashti was disrespectful. Say, I ain't going no place. I got my own banquet. Who he is, he wait till I get there. But it wasn't about that. So allow me to encourage you, because we don't know what the Father is doing. We don't know when the Father is getting ready to move on someone's road. We don't know. We don't know. When he's looking at who meets the requirements, who can I put in this position? Who can I trust with this position? Because he said, if you can't be trusted with little, who's going to trust you with much? If you can't be trusted with little, who is going to trust you with much? So, I want to encourage you. Everything trying to fall down. I want to encourage you to hang in there. Because listen, Esther walked right in. Esther walked right in. Walked right into a position that was ordained for her. And it had nothing to do with Vashti being a queen. It had nothing to do with Esther being a queen. It had nothing to do with her, but it had everything to do with God's people. Who can I trust? Who can I put in position? Allow me to encourage you to keep pushing. Listen, and I'm learning this. I'm learning this. God looks at our complaining. God looks at our laziness. He looks at all these things. Our patience, our attitude. These things that we see in the scriptures. He's he's gonna hold you accountable. Walking in love towards your enemies, praying for your enemies, and not clapping back. Gossip. We gotta change and we gotta be this people that God has called us to be. Okay? So I was just reading this thing right here and listen. The door just opened wide open. How many times had Vashti been disrespectful to the king? How many times? And here this man says she didn't just disrespect you. She did it to all of us. She did that to all of us. Now all our wives were at, because the wives were there. The feast that Vashti had was for the men wives. They gonna all treat us like that. They ain't none of them gonna want to listen to us now, because they see what Vashti did. They ain't gonna want to listen to us. But it had nothing to do with that, and everything to do with God putting people in position. Esther never knew. I don't see in the scriptures where it had been written that Esther was going to, it was prophesied to her that she was going to get a position to save God's people. So you never know when the Father is looking. So you be encouraged, keep your head up, keep pushing, and live the scriptures. It's important. You know, we're living in a time where we want to take shortcuts. No shortcuts. Okay? No shortcuts. No witchcraft. Don't fight back. Allow the Father to raise you up, to prepare you, that He could use you should He desire. Okay? All right. Y'all be encouraged. Know that I love y'all.